Welcome to Agile Clips, where we break down Agile into manageable pieces. In today's episode, we discuss, is Agile just for engineering teams?
Yes, I think that's a question that everyone is asking as to where did it start and where else can we use Agile? And I think that has been, as you might have seen everywhere, business agility is becoming a very popular topic across the industry. I think that's when, Steve, you and I were talking about, is this only engineering phenomena or something else? So what I noticed is in the beginning, it was all software centric. And that's why it was all in the engineering side. That's where the teams were being formed, pulling together. But now what I'm realizing is the teams are no longer just engineering teams. You need a vertically stacked team. Let's talk about what the vertically stacked team looks like. So what I noticed is the vertically stacked team has the business, like the product owner is just one part of it. But I've seen teams with sometimes the marketing folks in there, sometimes even the sales folks coming in there. So that's on the business side of things. In the engineering side of things, it has expanded to not only the developers and the testers. I see the support team also coming into picture. What else do you see that is happening, and where is the team role expanding, not just the engineering? Is there anything else that you have seen?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even to the point where HR
Right.
that isn't directly related to delivering the product has to be following the same kind of mindset, because the way you compensate people has to change, and
Correct.
you have to think more about how do you compensate the whole team and not an individual. So yeah, HR needs to be involved.
And also the HR needs to redefine some of the roles, because the managers, the conventional roles are no longer there. They become, because the day-to-day stuff and managing the team, that part is gone. So they have to be more on the strategic side. They also seen the legal compliance. Those kinds of teams, those kind of representation is coming in.
Well, to that point, I worked for a large Silicon Valley company whose name everybody would recognize, but I won't name them. And I was hiring product owners, and I was given literally 48,000 titles to choose from.
Wow.
If you take into account all the different levels. So there could be
Sure.
like a product manager level 1, level 2, level 3, and there was no product owner in sight.
Oh, wow.
But these days, you would see that. You
That's
definitely
true.
see that.
That's true. See, the other thing that I was training at some healthcare company, and there were some project managers in the training session, and they were very nervous, saying that, so what does the project manager do? And I was like, I didn't want to come as a very rude. Did you notice that there is no project manager in Agile? Because project management is done by the team. The team owns the project management aspect of it. But I said, well, no, the project manager can morph into so many different things. You could be a part of the team, or you could be the scrum masters, or the going to the next level. So they got the picture, but that is a big difference. The other thing that I am also seeing, that a lot of companies have agile project manager. I'm like, that's oxymoron. you,
Yeah, you say that, but the truth of the matter is that when you have really complex programs with many teams, even though there's the idea of Scrum of Scrums and so on, but there's so much coordination that's involved outside of the team, despite what you said about vertically stacked. You have to bring in sales and you have to work with marketing and so on. And some of those activities are really best done by someone who doesn't have a direct responsibility with any one team, but they're kind of coordinating across the board.
I mean, I agree that initially when the teams are getting set up, you might need somebody like that, but eventually it's team's responsibility to coordinate and then having those things so that there doesn't need to have a separate person to do all this, because then what I'm seeing is they revert back to the dependency charts and everything else, and that's like, oh wow, this is going back to, it creates almost like a scrum fall. Little bit of scrums, little bit of waterfall, and then there is a hybrid model, yes, but as they say, if you're we are doing scrum but, and the scrum is small and butt is bigger. So we need to get that butt little small, quite smaller, and then get the scrum on that side. So I'm not opposed to saying that, but then designating somebody as an agile project manager, that creates a challenge to the true transformation. You might, so I think what they call, I think release engineer is lot more
Yes,
closer
that's
to
right.
agile project manager, where as a
Yes,
from this.
from the scaled agile
Correct,
framework.
correct. So
Yes,
that's a
absolutely.
very synonymous to do, but there is a lot more involved with releasing some of the things and whatever the coordination is needed around that. But yeah, so what I noticed is that is something changing. I've seen also Scrum applied onto the intake funnel, how you approach the portfolio. I think there is one really nice. I'll have to check who is the author of that. Is they call Kanban sandwich. So the Kanban sandwich idea is the portfolio runs into Kanban, the engineering using Scrum framework, and all the support and the release runs into again Kanban. And
Yes.
then you can see the vertical slice of a Kanban sandwich, and that seems to work. So looking at, is agile only for engineering? I guess engineering makes sense to have Scrum or a flavor of agile, but flavor of agile from Kanban's side, it makes sense to have at the portfolio level or the release level and the support level. So that seems to have got some traction there. So everyone has a
Yeah.
different way of adopting that.
I wanted to make a point that ask any CEO, do they want their organization to be agile? Everybody's
Yeah,
going to say yes. So just by definition, they want the whole organization to be
yeah,
agile. And what's been found time and time again is that there's a lot of focus put on the engineering team, double the performance of the engineering team, and everybody celebrates, but it took months of discussion to get to the point where engineering could even start working on software
yeah.
features, let's say, and then marketing is not ready to deliver to the market. So improving one
Exactly.
part of the whole life cycle is doesn't make sense, and you really have to do
Correct.
end to end
Exactly. I mean,
optimization.
funny you should mention that, because I'm working at one of the my clients. It's they wanted to build this DevOps CI/CD, and I said, yeah, that's great. You can build this continuous integration, continuous deployment, all the platform. But I said, if the teams are not ready and if they are not sending the things that will fit the CI/CD platform or the pipe, otherwise, you are building a expressway and everyone is using electric scooters. So, so I think that phrase got to them, like, oh, so you want us to increase the speed of the teams too? I said, yeah, they need to get to that point so that fit the CI/CD pipeline to the team speed so that you will get and then keep on increasing. Said, oh, okay, we can do that. But yeah, that, as you were saying, that it needs to go end to end. It's not only reduce the batch size from the portfolio side so that the teams can handle it in the right way. So that's why they have to be part of it, and that's where they need to the business and all the other folks need to have that ability to do it and streamline their side. Like for example, I was talking to them about another technique that SAFe uses, the weighted shortage job first. I said, can you get a normalized way of prioritizing your features or epics or whatever? And they were like, what do you mean by that? So when we went through that, they said, oh, this is a lot more objective way. There is no, somebody pushing their biggest, like hippo kind of a scenario, or somebody who is more aggressive can put their project in front. And when they looked at that, they realized, oh, that's what means by batch sizing and smaller batches and all those things. So it's a learning process, but agree that it starts with engineering and then diverges to the front earlier process.
So you mentioned Hippo. That's the highest paid
In the
person
room,
in the
yes,
room.
yeah,
Correct?
highest
Yes.
paid person's opinion. That oh,
Yes.
and that happens at the bigger or even smaller companies, and then they try to muscle their way in, and then they realize, oh, we can't deliver. Some people don't like that term, but hey, that's the reality.
So let me just throw a little tip for our audience. So if you're in a situation where you're getting people to participate in the decision and you want to get everybody to speak up, start with the people who are not the highest paid person
Right.
in the room, because otherwise they will be influenced by the first person who speaks. So get it kind of bottom up so that that person with the opinion can hear other people's
Yeah.
opinions and may even
Yeah, yeah,
change
yeah.
their mind.
And the other thing, I think you used to do that. I remember when we were doing the brainstorming, you used to force everyone to say their idea. Don't elaborate. Just list it on the board, and then people would start putting their votes in it. So one of the things that we had used like dot voting, get everything in front, and then people, no discussion, just in silence. That
Yep, just go around the table in a
yeah,
circle, and if you have something to say it, and it probably stimulates the next person to come
correct.
up with an idea. And if you don't have anything to say, you just
Yeah,
say pass. You do it in a time
yeah,
limited way, time boxed. And if people just run out of ideas, then you
exactly,
stop early.
exactly.
So I ran a session like that not long ago, and literally in 60 minutes, we got 99
Wow.
ideas documented, which we then processed to come up with a rough estimate of the effort involved in developing such features, just a rough
Right,
estimate of how much business value we
right.
thought there was, divided
That's
the
it.
two, and that gave us a high level ROI, and we
Yeah, yeah,
prioritized and off we
exactly.
went.
And that filters out a lot of noise. That's for sure. And it comes down to and as they were saying, it moves the decision making to the left, because not only the business has a voice in it, the delivery team also has a voice in it. So then it almost becomes a reality check. So yeah, uh, I think that's where true Scrum really starts.
Good. I think we covered this
Awesome.
topic. So let's just say goodbye to our
Okay.
dear listeners.
And off
And
to the next.
we'll come back in the next podcast with another interesting topic.
That's a promise. Okay.
All right. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.